Hi guys, I'm here today to do the Bookish Bookin book tag. I thought it was a lot of fun, a lot of more unique questions, and I haven't done a tag in a long time, so I was excited to do this one. So question number 1 is, what is a well-loved book that you hated? I'm gonna have to go with The Hunger Games. It is not a very good book. It's not well written. The story is a cool story. Like, I love the movies, I love the concept, but I do not think that series is well written at all. I tried to reread the series and I got through the first and second one, but I couldn't read the third. Like, I just had no interest. I just didn't want to. And so yeah, I love the story and the idea of it, but I don't think it's a good book. Number 2 is, what is a guilty pleasure book? For me, that has to be Twilight. Twilight will always be a guilty pleasure. It is so silly, and like, you know, the older I get, the more I see how it is not a good book, but it's just so, like, such a nostalgic feeling from it because I've loved it since middle school. Number 3 is, have you ever spoiled a book for someone? If so, which book? I can only think of books where I've wanted to spoil them, so I've asked Ashley, my friend Ashley from like Tea Leaves and Bookbindings, if I could spoil her, or I've like just told my boyfriend about books. Like, I'm like, hey, are you ever gonna read this? And he's like, no, and I'm like, okay, let me tell you about it, because I just need to rant about books sometimes. So I always like ask if it's okay if I spoil, but so I don't think I've ever done it on purpose or on like accidentally did it. I've been like, hey, can I tell you about this certain book, and then I just rant about it. Number 4 is, what book made you ugly cry? I cry during a lot of books, but I know The Fault in Our Stars by John Green made me like sob uncontrollably because it's so sad. Ugh, it's so sad. But I feel like movies and such make me cry more than books because watching it just makes me like so emotional. 5 is, what is your latest DNF book? And I don't really DNF books. Right now it would have to be Passenger by Alexander Bracken because I've been trying to read this since like January, and I finally like picked it back up, but I've like put it down again, so it's kind of a DNF just because I haven't finished it yet. I will hopefully keep reading it, but I just like have no desire to really read it. I've been wanting to read other books over it, but yeah, hopefully I will get back to it. It says, which book have you read due to controversy? And I don't really know. I kind of read, I read 50 Shades of Grey because I wanted to see what it was all about because everybody was so into it and said it was like good, and then some people said it was bad, so I guess that would be my answer. 7 is, have you read a book where you question the author's sanity? Oh my gosh, probably like a lot of old time, like Alice in Wonderland. That one is kind of like, what were you thinking when you wrote that? 8 is, what is the most cringe-worthy book you've read? Oh my gosh, there's so many. Probably just like some contemporary books have been really cheesy and bad. It's really contemporary over any other genre because contemporary can be so bad. It's, what book have you read sole due to the cover? And that would be Anne of Green Gables because this cover was just so pretty. I had to pick it up and read it. 10 is, name a book you're embarrassed to admit you've read. Probably just 50 Shades of Grey, because that's one of the ones that I'm like, ugh, that's kind of embarrassing to have admitted you've read. 11 is, name an unknown book you wish more people knew of. I'm gonna go with Swollen by Melissa Lyon. I feel like this book is so good, and I don't think anyone has like read it. Like, I've never heard of anyone else talk about it. I read it in high school and I reread it probably like once every year or so. I just think it's a really good contemporary story. 12 is, name a favorite villain. I'm gonna have to go with Warner from the Shatter Me series. I know he's not really a villain, but he like is, and I liked him as a character. 13, name a book you enjoyed that you read that is outside the norm of genre you usually read. That was a mouthful. I don't really know. I'm just gonna go with an author. So I've never really liked any of A.S. King's books, but I love her book, Please Ignore Vera Diaz. This one was like a 5-star book for me. It's so funny, it's so good, and all her other books are like 3 stars. So this is my favorite one. I know that like was not what the question said, but I can't think of a genre I don't really like because I like a few books from every kind of genre basically. 14 is name tropes you actually enjoy reading. I like when like people you know are best friends, or like, okay, so when you know they hate each other and you know they're gonna like fall in love. I don't know, I really like that. I like when people hate each other for a whole book and then they like fall in love with each other. Not all the time, but a lot of the time I think it's pulled off pretty well. And finally, number 15 is what or who inspired you to join BookTube? And that would be my friend Ashley from Tea Leaves and Bookbindings. She had a BookTube channel and told me about BookTube, and then I got really into it and I just wanted to be part of the community. So thank you, Ashley, for telling me about it so that I would make videos. But yeah, guys, that was the Bookish Bookin book tag, and I tag anyone who wants to do this and link it below if you do it so I can see the answers you put. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys!